All right. Erase the Chalk, episode 16. I'm Dan.
I'm Charles.
What's going on, Charles?
What's going on, brother?
Nothing. We got a actually very, very special guest. He's been close to me. We grew up together. He's made his way, very, very top of the sports world, if you would say. Let's hop right into it. Let's give a shout out to JP Buckley. What's going on, JP?
What's going on, Dan? How we doing, Charles?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
Awesome.
Doing all right. Enjoying the night. Happy to be here with you guys. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Happy to have you.
Nice.
Yes.
So, I guess we'll take it easy on you. I mean, like I used to do Chevrolet versus Immaculate Conception over here.
Don't go there. You know who holds the record in those games.
Man.
Who took those final rounds? It was we had a couple battles there, but I don't know who came out on top overall.
I think you guys ended up beating us. I mean, there was one game I remember. I covered my cousin. I'm 6 foot and he's 5 foot. I'm
hanging out by the 3-point line the whole time.
Yeah, of course he was. He still does. Yeah. That's all he does.
Got a good shot.
But yeah. Anyways, just we'll take it easy on you. We won't throw too many blows at you. But just walk us through. What brought you to where you are. What you did with not only the Bruins organization but with BU, as well as your short stint with the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was with the Bruins for about, I think it was four or five seasons as a video coach. So I had a really good run with them. I worked with a couple different coaching staffs. Obviously had the Stanley Cup Run in 2019. And my primary role there was, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but, I watched a lot of game film, game strategy, work with the coaching staff, but really handled all the team technology related to coaching software, analytics, all that sort of thing. So I was at the Bruins for about 5 years as the head video coach. Before that, I spent a season down in Nashville, which was awesome, still in video, more on the management side. So helped out they're a super innovative team, and they were looking for ways to use video to help their scouting process. So instead of flying people all over the world and only getting a couple looks at guys, they wanted to develop a cloud-based video platform. So more scouts, more players, hopefully make better decisions. And they were really good at the draft. So I helped do that for a year. And, I got into this whole thing by being a video coordinator at BU. So was there for 5 years while I was going to school, and it's kind of just super lucky to get the opportunity, and doors kept opening. So it was a good run.
Now, I already know the answer, as well as, probably some of these people that are watching right now. Talk us through what you played growing up. What sports did you play in middle school, and moving forward to high school? I had a question on Instagram asking you about your high school hockey playing career.
Oh man, growing up we played everything back in the day. Baseball, had a Pup Warner stint. Hockey was a big part of that. We really played everything. And as I got into high school, you had to pick a couple sports. So I ended up going with hockey and lacrosse. Got really into lacrosse. Actually, now that I think about it, it was Brendan's dad and Marty and all those guys that really started getting me passionate about lacrosse. So I played hockey and lacrosse there. We had a good run. I was at MC when Chris Areno took over. And he really turned that program around. So we had a couple Super 8 appearances. My career ended a little shorter than I would have liked, but we had a good run. We didn't win any. We lost a couple. I think we lost in the semis was the furthest I went to Reading. And yeah, that was it. We had a good time back in those days.
You and Christian Roberto and that whole crew.
Yeah, Christian, Earp. Man, those are names from the past. We had a good team. I mean, MC back in those days was a powerhouse in lacrosse. So I came there sort of at the tail end of that dynasty that they had going, but I still play with a lot of good players. It's fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you went to BU. What'd you head over there for?
Yeah, so at the end of my high school career, I decided to hang up the cleats and the skates and just take on a new challenge. So I got into BU, one of my, I guess you could say a dream school. Couldn't afford to go there because it was 60 grand, 70 grand to go to school there. So I got in and just, I had a family connection with the hockey coach over there. Went down, had a talk with him just to figure out if there was any way we could get me into some work study program or just to help out with some tuition. And, super fortunate, super lucky that the video coordinator at the time was leaving to go to law school. So there was an opportunity and, I took that. But I always wanted to go there. We grew up, my dad's a huge, BU Terriers fan. So when we were younger, we were going to those games all day back at the Walter Brown when it was just pure chaos.
You're running through the football field to get to the stadium.
Yeah, exactly. That was the best part. Doing 50-yard sprints and suicides.
Get your workout in,
Yeah, exactly. That was funny. Yeah, those are the best days. And BU was always a part of my family. Like we would go there since we were babies. My mother used to tell stories about us, being in the stands super young. So it was awesome to go there. It's kind of
I feel like it's always a competition around here for BU and BC.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you know where you gotta go.
Squad. Yeah, looking at the Bruins squad, they like picking up their Boston College players.
Yeah, you know where you gotta go on ComAv.
Oh man. But anyways, what I guess where we're gonna go is, just pretty much we touched base on, you with the Bruins, you with the Predators. Were you there when PK got traded, or was that after you?
He got traded there the year that I left, so I didn't get a chance to be there with him. They ended up going to the Stanley Cup Finals that next year, so I was kind of pissed.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
That was an awesome opportunity. I had a good time. Nashville's a great place, and they had a good team. They had a good coach. Yeah, it was a good experience. But yeah, then it always burns when they go to the finals the year after you leave. Was it me?
No, definitely not. But what are you doing right now? Because I want to get into this this pretty much advancement in technology in sports. You talked about analytics, and I feel like you hear it on the radio all the time. The guys, the stat nerds, in baseball, where the pitcher can only go through the rotation 3 times or whatever. What types of advancement in the technology in the game are you seeing?
It's
from
pretty
that aspect.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, just like the advancements we're seeing, in business and in our life, and the same has swept through the sports world, and it's unlocked so much potential. So whether it's actual analytics on the team side, advanced stats that they're keeping on players, predictive analytics is a big thing that's moving through hockey. So using AI, machine learning, to predict performance, to help kind of player development. A lot of work is going in on management with predicting probabilities of success. So when they're drafting players, how can you look at past stats to predict if he's going to be successful in the future? Looking at current players that you have on your lineup and predicting, their level of production moving into later stages of their contract. And maybe he looks good now, but he's trending downwards. Maybe we can trade him while he's still got some value left in him. So a lot of stuff happening within professional sports organizations. That's more on the team side. And then you can go into, on the fan base side, how the analytics are playing into fan engagement, whether it's fantasy sports, drafting, in-game experiences, fan stuff with just in arena, whether it's virtual reality, headsets, things like that. There's no end to it. A lot of work on the artificial intelligence side with ticket sales and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if that's that fun to get into, but they're really using the data that's available to do some pretty impressive things. The player development stuff is cool. The analytics on team side stuff is really cool. And then the health and wellness side of things, like everyone's wearing these fitness wearables, these Whoop straps, like the recovery training, that whole, world is pretty insane too. So, and then you could take it even steps further, like esports, that whole world and what's happening there. Like you got a lot of teams. The Bruins purchased an esports team. The Flyers, conglomerate over in Philly, they bought a couple esports teams. So, there's just opportunity everywhere up there, and it's all driven by technology. So it's cool.
It's crazy. That is the world we live in.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. And sports is no different.
I thought, growing up watching hockey games on, what was it, Fox, with the little tail, with the puck, the tail. Because it's like, I'll watch hockey now, and my wife will actually watch hockey, and she's like, how do you know where to follow the puck? Where's the puck? I'm like, back in the day, it was early 90s, they used to put the tail on the puck.
Yeah, the All-Star games, they were well ahead of their time. That's coming back, though. Now you'll start seeing some stuff on broadcasts. The player tracking got approved in the league. I think it was last year. I haven't been watching too many games, but you'll start to see some pretty cool stuff come on the broadcast screen, just tracking, puck distance, player speed. I don't know if they're going to bring back the tail, but they're collecting data.
I hope they do.
They should. That was really cool. The tail and then the
Joe
Nickelodeon slime
too.
From the. That's a collectible.
It's boxed up and bubble taped over there.
Good.
No, but even with the technology they brought in, I think it was the beginning of the year, they put those microchips in the pucks. I heard a lot of players complaining about, the puck's not bouncing the proper way. They can't get the proper feel on the puck. What is your take on that as far as, technology?
Having a bouncing puck makes things very difficult out there, especially in the skill game that you're seeing today with all the stick work they're doing. So that could be annoying, but that sensor that they put in the puck, I'm not surprised it's bouncing. You're pretty much changing the whole, physics of it. But it's going to unlock a lot of cool things for broadcast specifically. Like when you're watching a game, being able to see how hard a guy shot the puck, how long the pass was. And it's going to lead to other different things like putting sensors on their bodies in the boards and what you can do with those GPS coordinates and how that can impact the game. And it really just goes down to collecting more data. So like they're collecting data on every single thing that's happening on the ice now. And that's why the players are a little skeptical about that. But, everything we see out there is all data. And then that's where the AI stuff comes in. It's like, how do you make sense of all this data? And it's pretty fascinating stuff that they're doing.
Man, I have a question. Want to push back a little bit on your time with the Bruins. Was there a certain moment or time where you had to like pinch yourself and tell yourself like, man, I'm actually here working, with a professional team? Go into that. Was there a moment or time where you just was like, wow, I'm really here,
Yeah, it was cool. The very first day at training camp when I walked into the Bruins and I saw some of these guys like Patrice Bergeron, Chara, Claude Julian was the coach, and I was kind of like, oh my God, this is something else. And then you just get right in, you get right to work, and you kind of forget about that stuff. But then over the course of the 4 years, there's always stuff that pops up. Like the first time you step onto the plane, and you're just like, wow, why am I here? Like this is crazy. You go into the hotels that you're staying at, it's kind of, that first year is pretty special. Everything almost seems like you're looking around, and just, being grateful for where you're at. The Stanley Cup Finals was obviously that was just an incredible experience. I looked around a couple times and just soaked it all in. But there's also times where you get so lost in what you're doing. You're working around the clock. Sometimes you're not seeing the light of day for a couple days, and you can get lost in it for sure. So it is good to take those moments out to be grateful for what you got.
It's the grind, right? It's the grind.
It is an absolute grind. I don't know if people really understand how much of a grind it is. You watch the games every night, and it's just like, hey, they're there on TV. But there's so much work that goes in. The equipment guys, the trainers, every single day working 10, 12-hour days, 7 days a week. It's a tilt, and it's a full tilt.
So I have a special request. I have 2 young Bruins fans. Okay, 2 young Bruins fans watching right now. One of them, he's a goalie. He loves Tuukka Rask. His name is Matthew. His brother is Christopher. What advice would you give to them to pretty much get on the ice and become a future Bruin?
Wow. Well, first of all, Matthew, and was it Chris?
Chris.
Matthew and Chris, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. You just got to get out there and keep playing and keep working. Every day that you put in the time, you're going to get that much better. And I think what's going to end up setting you apart is just that work ethic that you can develop. So keep putting in the time, even sometimes when you're like, I don't want to go out on the ice, or I don't want to go shoot pucks, or, I don't see anything coming from this. Just keep doing it, because over time that's going to compound and your skills will develop. Someone's going to go take a nap and you're going to go shoot pucks, and you'll be better than him in the long run. So it all comes down to work ethic, really, and studying the game, but just have fun with it too. If you're, what are they, 11 years old?
One of them I believe is 11. The other one, I think my oldest daughter has a crush on him. Yeah. I think he's 7 or 8.
All right.
No,
yeah, they're young.
They're young.
Yeah, just have fun at that point. Just have fun. Enjoy it. That's it.
Yeah.
But
hopefully he's good. If your daughter has a crush on him. Hopefully he ends up in the league.
No dating. Ariana, I know you're watching. No dating, all right? Not until I'm out of the picture.
Yeah.
No, but you've traveled the world with this team. I know you've gone to China. You've there's pictures of you on the Great Wall with the team. That crazy trip where who was it? Pasternak's on Marchand's shoulders, running down the Great Wall.
Yeah.
Just going back to traveling. What would you say is your favorite city to go to?
Oh man.
Or even favorite country?
Favorite country. Well, China was an experience. I don't know if I'd end up going to China without being part of the team that year, and that was incredible. It's a crazy place over there. It's literally a whole entire new world. But in the States, in North America, my favorite city that I like to go to is always, Vancouver was up there as one of my favorites. I did like going back down to Nashville and visiting with my old people down there. That was always a fun time. But yeah, I'd say Vancouver is probably my number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Canadians, man.
Canada's great. Canada's great. But people up there are super nice, and Vancouver's beautiful. It's like up in the Northwest. Rains a little bit, but you got these huge mountains. People are super nice to you, and they love hockey up there, which is the other part. Like here in the States, you put on ESPN, you're not going to see a highlight from, ever.
From hockey.
You go up there, from hockey. You go up there, commercials are hockey players, everything is around hockey. Local news is showing hockey, and it has an energy to it. So when you go up to Canada and you're in those stadiums, it's a whole different game. It's fun.
You eat the poutine fries up there?
I've eaten some fries in my day.
Go to Timmy's, get yourself a nice coffee and a cruller.
Oh yeah, tidbits all day. A lot of the coaches I worked with were Canadian, so there was a constant battle about Dunkin' Donuts versus Tim Hortons, and it was it's never ending. They're both not very good, but
oh come on, are you a Starbucks guy?
I'm a whatever's the strongest guy, so I gotta stay awake somehow doing 15-hour days watching 12 hockey games a day, so whatever's gonna keep me awake is what I'll drink.
Yeah. Well, that was, I have a question about it, man. Like, do you think the sport of hockey gets enough recognition as it should be, or do you think there's some improvement that needs to be done with the sport of hockey?
I don't think the sport of hockey needs any improvement. I think it's very underestimated, but I think a lot of that just goes to it doesn't have as much exposure as the other sports, at least in the United States. So the improvements I'd say would just be we need TV deals. Like the commissioner probably needs to market his players a little bit better. They did just sign a big contract with ESPN, so I'm hoping there's going to be some more highlights getting shown. But the skill level of these guys, the athleticism of what they're doing out there on the ice, I think it's really underestimated here. And hopefully when you start seeing highlights and you're going to start seeing some of the goals these guys are scoring or how tough they are and, playing after getting their jaw broken and just wearing a face mask and going right back out there the next shift. Like that's the type of stuff that people just need to see, and then they're going to get in there. The other thing that's tough about hockey that other sports kind of benefit from is hockey's the type of game that you need to see live to be able to see how fast it is. So when you watch it on TV, like it slows down dramatically. So a lot of times you'll hear people that like go to their first game and then they're hooked afterwards because they're like, holy shit, that was so fast. Like I can't believe they're doing what they're doing on skates that fast. And they're beating the shit out of each other and they're scoring all these highlight reel goals. So it's like you got to see it. You got to get that energy. You put it on TV, like it really slows it down. Plus back in the day during the 90s, they literally had to do that tail on the puck just so you could see where the puck was. It's so fuzzy. We didn't have like HD TV. So I was like, I think, they just gotta get better at marketing the players and getting the game out there for people.
I don't think it helps that hockey players take the pay cut, when it comes to these other professional sports.
They're hockey players are a down to earth bunch, like big time. They don't have the egos. There are egos, but they're just they're not getting paid nearly as much, and they're just salt of the earth people. But as they get those deals, like TV rating deals that come in, and those salaries will start going up. But it is crazy. I think the highest paid player in the NHL makes less than like a bench player in the NBA. So,
wow, really?
That's insane.
I mean, the highest paid player in the league right now, I think he's making $12 million a year.
That's it.
And and most guys are probably making. I know that's it. Most guys are probably making.
I'm lucky if I see that in my lifetime.
I'll take it.
Well, compared to like all the other, like you're saying, like all the other sports, man, 12 million is small. It's I didn't. As for me, like I'm learning the game of hockey, and I didn't know that that's the highest type of money that certain players can get.
Yeah, majority of them aren't even getting close to that either. I think there's like a handful of guys that are making above 10, and they're superstars. Like they're generational players that you're not going to see come around too often, and they're making 10. But most guys are probably making, your third, fourth line guys might be making $1 million, 1.2, maybe 2 million. And like the stress they're putting on their bodies and just, it's crazy. They should get paid more, but that comes with TV deals and all that stuff.
Right.
So it drives everything. It's the broadcast money. It's the advertisements. And the other leagues do a good job. Like commissioners, the NBA commissioner, MLB. Like MLB is a game that probably needs to change the actual structure of the game to get people to watch it a little more.
It's funny during
super
COVID.
Good at marketing.
During COVID, I watched a lot of Korean baseball, and that it's like they have so many different rules in the MLB, and it's like if they're tied, they don't play past the 11th or 12th inning. They call it a tie, and then I think they have a pitch clock or something. But it's like these small adjustments need to be added to baseball. Looking forward to a nice long summer. But I got a question coming in from YouTube. Who was the best player you've seen on film?
Seen on film or in person? I mean, Connor McDavid is he's a special player. He is incredibly fast. He's incredibly skilled. He's probably the best player that I've seen overall. So, yeah, if you get a chance, like he's the type of guy where they start pumping highlights on the ESPN, you see what this kid's doing, you're like, oh, my God. He's basically floating above the ice, doing stuff with the puck that, afterwards you're like, how did that happen? he's a good player. There's a lot of good players out there. I mean, like David Pastrnak for the Bruins, he's another one of those guys. Like, that's just, his skill level is off the charts, and he's such a fun player. Like, they should market him up, pretty good, because he gets a crowd going. He's so good, and he's such a good kid.
I think it's funny how they rip him for his tape job, but then once you find out the story behind why he tapes his stick the way he does, that's a completely different story.
I know, salt of the earth guy, right there. He's funny. He's funny. Yeah, that tape job.
The time.
He's half the time. He's a good kid.
So I'm moving forward. What are you doing right now? I know you said that you're not doing anything with sports right now. You had something in the works, but COVID kind of screwed that up. So what are you doing now?
Yeah, so basically after the Stanley Cup run, I made the decision to step away from being on the team side of things and just look for a new opportunity. So I saw a lot of opportunities in technology and sports, and I wanted to keep going down that path instead of following more of like the coaching path. That wasn't really, what I wanted to do. So I ended up leaving. I got a job with a company in Boston. It was a startup company called Data Robot. And I just wanted to try, something different. I went to school for business, so I ended up getting into that, and they had a sports division. So Data Robot is a automated machine learning company, and they've basically built a way to automate how you build AI platforms. It's pretty insane, the technology they had. But they had a sports division, and they had this guy that was running their sport department, this guy Andrew Engel. He was a data scientist that was just obsessed with analytics and sports, and they were using their platform to try and get involved with teams. And then there's another guy there named Ari Kaplan. Ari was one of the guys that worked with Billy Beane. He was one of the first developers of sabermetrics baseball. So I went there. I got involved in a sales role, used some of my connections and my knowledge of the sport, and just helped them kind of expand into that area. COVID hit. They laid off about 300 people, which was like half the company at the time. So had to make a little bit of a pivot. I know, that was crazy. So it was kind of a bummer, but I ended up finding a job now where what I'm doing. I'm a director of sales at a company called Airworks, and it's another AI company. We've developed a software that takes drone data and turns it into drawings for engineers, which is a little different than what I'm doing, but I have stayed involved in the technology side of things. I'm trying to figure out a way to, I don't know if it's going to be some sort of consulting type role, but there's so much opportunity, like startups that are developing and taking advantage of the analytics and the fan engagements and the daily sports and the DraftKings and all that. Like, there is so much opportunity out there, and I want to be involved in those, those companies and try and help them, get into teams or just figure out how to navigate that professional landscape. So that's kind of where I'm heading, but it's open-ended. I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always been curious to know, when it comes to DraftKings and FanDuel, how they get their, actual stats for how you build your lineup, how they pretty much predict what their scores will be. It's like, how do you know?
That's AI, basically. All artificial intelligence is it's predictive analytics. So you're just using all these crazy, different probabilities using the data, and you're just saying, what's the probability that this is going to happen? And now that we have so much data, historical data, player data, those probabilities are a lot more accurate. And with all the advancements in computer chips and computer technology, you can make pretty accurate predictions. So that's a lot of the stuff that we did on team side. Every day we would generate analytic reports on the team that we were about to play, and based on their lineup, based on our last couple games, based on our last games versus them, their last games against other teams, you'd be able to make a prediction about how many goals should we score in this game, how many expected goals are there. And then, after the game, you basically take that sheet, you look at what actually happened, and you figure out, why didn't we score this amount of goals? Was it the goalie that had a bad game? Did our systems break down somewhere? So literally everything is predicting, but it's all the data that they have available.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. I'll blow your mind with another one. They got it's a lot to take in for sure, but so the company that Data Robot, they work with a lot of soccer teams, so whether it's European or MLS, they're some of the most advanced sports programs around. So you're looking at Real Madrid and Manchester U. They invest so much money into technology. It is unbelievable. So there's a company or one of the teams in, I think it's Salt Lake. I'm not sure. But basically they have youth programs all the way from you're 9 years old all the way up. And they'll host these camps, and they're collecting data on you. They're taking your measurements, they're taking your heights, they're tracking you from the time you're 9 years old all the way up. They're looking at your goals scored and the games that you're playing and all this sort of stuff. And they're taking that data and they're trying to make predictions on who's going to be a good player by the time they're old enough to be in the pros or in the MLS. And they've had a lot of success with identifying talent super early on. And instead of bringing them onto their team, they'll sign them to a contract. They'll loan them to the European teams when they're really young so that they kind of get the exposure, develop their talent. They'll loan them there for millions of dollars to these European teams. And then once they're at this certain age where they predict that they're at their peak time, they get them back and they bring them into their system here in the MLS. And It's just like the stuff that you can do with predicting performance, and it doesn't work all the time. Like it's not super easy to do, but that's the level of detail you can get with some of these stats now. It's insane.
How big does injuries play a part in that?
Huge. So that's a good question. They predicting injury, but also using a lot of the data that you can get fitness and to how fast can we get them back from injury. So that's the other thing. So you're trying to prevent injuries. So they have, there's a company called Catapult where you wear these sensors, heart rate monitors. It's basically like a giant fitness band, like a Whoop strap or something. And you wear that on the ice, you wear that during your workouts, and it's just collecting a ton of data. And they'll be able to tell all the way down to how much load you're exerting on individual legs, to see if all of a sudden you had a decrease in load on one side and you've had hip surgery 5 years ago, they'll be proactive in saying, hey, sit this one out, or let's change your workout routine, either strengthen that or try not to strain it. So all that's about preventing injuries before they happen. And then when you get somebody that does get injured, how fast can we get them back on the ice? And a lot of it is because if you get your star player that's out, what that does to revenue and fan engagement, you need your big players on the ice because they bring in all the money. So they want to try and want to keep you from being injured, but they want to get you back as soon as possible too. It's crazy.
Capitalism wins sometimes, yeah.
That's what I was telling you earlier. It's like the owners. Tell the owners to pause the season.
I had one guy on Instagram ask, what's it like to be that handsome?
Oh my God.
Gotta tell my buddies to get a life.
No, but who's the I had another question on Instagram. Who's the best chirper for the Bruins?
That's Brad Marchand by far. Yeah. You can't beat him. You can't beat him. He knows how to get under your skin. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a good guy though. He's just super smart. He knows how to get under your skin, throw you off your game, and it only makes him get better. So the more he's chirping, the more dialed in he's in, or the more dialed in he is. But yeah,
he's going through that picking people's noses a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he might have taken it a little far there. He was doing some crazy shit out there. He's a good guy. When you're going that hard all the time, you're gonna cross the line every now and again. All right.
Right.
No, it's funny. It's funny you bring up. The hockey players are down to earth. I remember the Bruins. I think it must have been 2004 14, 15. It was a Saturday. They had a day game. I think it was against the Capitals. Anyways, we ended up going out to Julep. And of course, what do you know? I'm going to the bathroom, and I hear some guy. He's like, oh, Mashi's here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna deke him out. I'm looking at him like, what is wrong with you? Like, and then all of a sudden, I walk back to my wife, and I see Dougie Hamilton. I'm like, oh. Wow. So and then
you
like
weren't looking up at
me,
him like, yeah, you're a tall guy yourself.
Man, I'm 6'. I have the picture. I'll post it. But yeah, I'm like, wow, that luscious strawberry blonde hair that he had, But then all of a sudden I look behind me and I'm back to back against Milan Lucic, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then Marchand was over in the corner. Krejci, my wife had a huge crush on Krejci, but what woman doesn't? And it's just like it's like you said, they're so down to earth. And I was just sitting there talking to him like the whole night, trying to get pictures.
Nice. Trying to get your wife a picture.
Yeah, we got the picture.
They're
Trust
good
me,
guys.
we got the picture.
Oh, I bet.
I don't think he understood what I was saying.
That's all right. Yeah, they're good guys. They like to have fun. They like to go to the bar. They like to, they really are super down to earth, which is awesome. They're just really talented at what they do.
Yeah.
You touch based on it a little bit. 2019 was the Stanley Cup run. Fortunately, we didn't get that win. But how was that playoff run? How was the atmosphere, the energy with the team?
Yeah, that was a special time. It sucks because we lost, so I have this I almost try not to think about it at all. When I do think back to the first round, second round, those are some of the most unbelievable times. We were buzzing. We were just playing, super, super well. We had great chemistry going into it, and it felt like we couldn't lose. And we were flying. Who do we play? The win against Tampa. Once we got past them, in my head I was like, we're going all the way. There's no chance, because Tampa was unbelievable that year, and got through them. Obviously, we got through Toronto. They had an insane team. I think we went full 7 games with them too. So getting through those two guys, it was like, we're good to go. And then I think we got lucky because did we even play Tampa? I don't know. It feels like it was so long ago, but we got lucky because a lot of big names got upset.
They got bounced early, yeah.
Yeah, so Tampa got bounced.
The Capitals got bounced, and that was the easiest path to the Cup finals.
It was. That's why it was when they were out and we were winning. It was like, it's ours to lose at this point because we had a really good team that year. But yeah, all the stars were aligning, and we felt really good. And we went into St. Louis, and they played a different game. But we still felt good against them. It was tough. We sat after the Carolina series for week and a half, 2 weeks, which, it's never good. It's not an excuse or anything, but it was tough. And then, we lost Game 7 at home. Still kills me. Still kills me. But it was a good run. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
At least we made it to Game 7 on home ice during that one, What was it, 2013 we lost to the Blackhawks?
Yeah, that was tough.
Game 6, I think it was. Was it Game 6? Yeah. I don't know.
It was Game 6.
It's always tough to watch, your home teams lose in those big spots.
Yeah. Yep. Wasn't easy. Like I said, I've almost buried it from my memory.
Sorry about the reminder.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. I work with a kid now from St. Louis, and every time I look at him, I'm like, God.
Did you see any? I know there's a huge difference. The style of coaching between Claude Julian and Bruce Cassidy. What's the difference? And I don't know if you can say it, but who did you like? Actually working under when it came to them.
Yeah, they're both very good guys, and they both have their own personalities and styles of coaching, and just how they handle themselves. And I couldn't pick one over the other. They're both awesome. Claude, he was an old school coach. He is very kind of rigid in his beliefs and his philosophies. And I think he might have had a harder time adapting to like the new game and the new players, which might have hurt him. But he had a great run. Like I think he lasted a long time in Boston. And at some point, it's not that you lose the room, but you just need a fresh voice in there, especially when you have players like that were with him as they grew, through the system, like Krejci and Marsh and Bergeron and those guys. I think you just need a new voice to jumpstart it. But Claude was awesome. He's a personality. We had a lot of fun. Super smart guy, like worked so hard. And then Bruce took over, and he's one of the smartest guys around, like hockey mind, but also just sports in general. And it was unbelievable to work under him. Because we'd be at the games beforehand and just settling in before puck drop. We'd put on, if it was curling or if it was golf or if it was literally any sport that was on TV, he would just sit in front of the TV and analyze the game. And if it was golf, he would call the club they were going to use. He would call the distance. He would call where they were going to go, like where the ball was going to go, how many strokes he was going to get in, and it would happen. If it was curling, he would map out the whole strategy, and he'd just be doing it in his head, talking out loud, and I'd be looking at him like, wow, this guy is unbelievable. He was just a strategist in all things, and he was super smart. It was funny. The differences between them two is that Bruce on the bench is a little nuts. Like he gets very passionate. He can blow a gasket on the bench, but then days off, he's super calm, super mellow, and just gets his work done. It was almost the opposite with Claude. Claude was calm on the bench. He didn't really get too flustered too often, especially with the players. But practice days, he was maniac. So that was an adjustment.
And I know you've been to quite a few winter classics. What was your most memorable one? Don't say Gillette when we got blown out by the Canadians.
Well, that one was brutal. I don't think we had. Marshy didn't play that game. I think he was suspended. We got killed. It was freezing cold. But it was cool to be at Gillette. The second one up at Notre Dame, that was awesome. They did such a good job with that. And I know you don't like Notre Dame, but that campus is beautiful. Like they transformed the stadium, and they just put on such a good time. And I like the theme. I think it was like a 1920s kind of old school theme they did, so that was fun.
I liked that Lake Tahoe this year.
Oh, I know. I was jealous I couldn't be there. That was like, since I've left, I haven't had too many times where I was like, God, I really wish I was back. There's parts that I miss of it big time, but I don't. The grind was the grind. But when I saw that Tahoe game, I was like, fuck, I wish I was out there.
Dress up in those old school snow ski suits.
Yeah, they went 1980s theme, right? When we the one at Notre Dame, it was the 20s. It was they did a Peaky Blinders theme. So like all the players had a custom suit guy come out there and set them up with these nice 3-piece suits and all these gangster hats and all that from back in the day. So that was fun too. They're good like that. The Bruins have such a good team chemistry and like team leadership there. Well, they'll do fun stuff like that. Like I remember the other teams were just coming in regular suits like it was a regular game. They weren't really having fun with it, but they got a good locker room in there.
I mean, I know you've been in the locker room. I'm not trying to blow up anybody's spot, but have you seen any like crazy pranks from some of the players? I know I've seen some of them on like Behind the B, shows like that. But
yeah, people have fun with it. I mean, these guys sometimes it feels like they're just big kids, that are just still playing the sport and still having fun. Trying to think of any actual pranks. There's always random things like, cutting the center of your skate laces down or putting tape on the bottom of your blades so when they step on the ice they fall. There's all sorts of things like that happening,
jokes
that they're busting, but none really stick out. But yeah, it's a fun time when you're on the road. It's just a bunch of guys. You're picking on each other. That's for sure.
Is there any rookie duties for the rookies, like with the veterans?
I wouldn't say duties like on the day-to-day throughout the year, but there's always a rookie party, like initiation type thing, and those are fun. they don't really make them do anything like insane or like hazing, but they have I think they pick up the tab on the team dinner, and which is not cheap at all. So like, that's hazing enough. When I saw the first bill, I was like, okay, I'm not paying for that. But, yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Man, it's crazy.
We had fun.
You got anything else,
times.
Charles?
Yeah, I got 2 more questions, man.
Cool.
Your time with the Bruins, what did you learn from the game of hockey, or if any? Yeah, what did you learn more, or
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I feel like I stepped away. Work ethic, I guess, would be the number one thing. Like every day you went into work, and like we talked about before, it was a grind, like hardcore grind, and getting very minimal hours of sleep. But every single day you go in there, like people are bringing it, everything they've got every single day. No matter if you had 1 hour of sleep, if you lost the game, if you won the game, people are bringing it. And there are some players that were at the Bruins, like Chara, Bergeron, like a lot of these guys that, you lose a game, they're in the weight room. We're late for the bus, taking off to hit the plane because they're in the weight room doing extra sets or extra squats or something like that. So I learned professionalism. I learned a work ethic. And it's helped me big time, since I've left that world. You don't see it in everybody. Everybody hasn't have that drive and that work ethic and that team first attitude. So I definitely got that instilled in me throughout, my career there, which I'm super grateful for sure.
So, and my last question for you, man. Do you have a top 5 hockey player of all time?
Top 5 of all time. God. I mean, you got to go with the greats. I didn't get to watch a lot of these guys. Like Wayne Gretzky's obviously one of the best players to ever play the game, but I didn't really watch him growing up. So I'll keep it to the guys that I was around, when I was working in there. Patrice Bergeron is probably my number one. He is such a good dude, an unbelievable pro. His work ethic is absolutely insane. I like Connor McDavid. I mentioned him, really good player. I think Pasternak is, very special. There's so many. I mean, Alexander Ovechkin, he's a Hall of Famer. He's got one of the best shots in the game. He's an absolute animal. Sidney Crosby. It's tough to pick a top 5, and everyone's so like, I know them on such not personally, but on such different levels of kind of what types of player they are. So it's almost like you need a top 5 in each different category. Patrice, Ovechkin, Sidney, McDavid, and I like Connor. I mean, what the hell is his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name, but Matthews from Toronto. Like he's like a hip young player. He's incredibly talented, and he has fun with the game. So.
Man, there's so much talent.
I guess that's
insane.
Oh, it's crazy. And they're all like, they're 18 years old now coming into the league. It's like, wow. Are they feeding you guys?
Yeah.
It's all the performance. It's all the video that's available out there. It's all the training that you can get. It's all like the fitness. Like these guys are coming. Back in the day, they used to say the training camp was when you sweat out all the booze that you drank over the summer. And, like guys would be showing up like 30 pounds overweight, and you would just go to training camp, try to survive it. And then by the time like you get 20 games into the season, you're actually playing shape. Nowadays, these kids are just like, they're on programs all throughout the year. They're working on their craft. There's so much stuff you can do, and skill level is insane, especially at such young ages. I like seeing too, like even in basketball, they have the average age of college teams versus the pro team in that city, and like the college guys are older than the pros. It's wild.
Yeah. That's true.
But
yeah.
Oh man. But anyways, I mean, All my questions have been answered. I'm not taking any more of these questions on Instagram. They're a little wacky. You got to tell your old BU and MC buddies to quiet down over there. I'll sick Mr. McEnany and Mr. Bikino on them.
Wow, I haven't heard those names in a long time. It's hilarious. Yeah, I got to get my buddies under control.
That's why I had to ask you what questions are off limits when it comes to this, because I'm not bringing up any of this stuff.
Yeah, they're a little offsides.
But you are a handsome man, I must say.
Appreciate you. You're making me turn red. See how red I am? I'm nervous.
That's a good drinking water of Malden right there.
That's that Easty tap.
Anyways, it's been real talking to you. It's been real catching up with you. I mean, I don't think I've talked to you in years. I mean, we back and forth a couple times on social media, but I think the first time I saw you was like 3 years ago, and I'm watching the Bruins game, and all of a sudden they're doing like the intros. It was like the first game they're doing the intros of everybody on the bench, and all of a sudden I see you. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I got a lot of text that night. That was my favorite night of the year because most of the time, I'm underneath in the locker room just, getting no FaceTime. So that first game of every year, I was like, all right, here's my time. Here's my time to shine. One of the years, I think it was my first year. I was all excited and nervous or whatever. And, you're supposed to go out in a certain order. So they call us out, and something happened with Claude where it's like he forgot his tie, or I don't even know what happened. He wasn't ready. So I ended up going out, and I'm just standing there having a good time, looking up into the crowd, thinking I'm awesome and just enjoying it. And all of a sudden I just get a crush on my side, and I look over and it's Claude because he was trying to get by me, and I'm just standing there looking up at everybody. And if you watch the tape, he's looking up at me are you fucking kidding me? Get out of my move out of the bench. That was fun. I was like, oh, sorry, coach. That was my first year. I didn't even barely knew him at the time. Fired. Said
it with that nice Canadian accent too.
Yeah, that wasn't not very nice about it. He was a fun guy. It was cool catching up with you guys for sure.
Yeah, you as well. And once you get started with all this other stuff, we'd love to pick your brain when it comes to technology, because like I said, you're seeing more and more technology in all these sports, and it's just it's like you said, insane, and you could just go on for days and days, and it's it is crazy seeing technology and where it's started, and where it started with the tail on the puck, moving forward to where we're at now, and it's just it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I'd be happy to come on. I'm happy to come on. This was fun. There's so much going on out there, and with technology, the cool part about it too is not everyone can make it to the pros or make it to working for a team, but now there's all these other kind of companies that are starting up, and there's opportunities to stay in the game and stay close to the game, without ending up in the pros. Before it was like, if you don't play, then you just watch it on TV, but now you can get it, which is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been great, man. Like we tell our guests, man, we hope we made you feel comfortable. Just, three people talking sports, talking about your personal journey. And, again, man, we appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you for inviting me. And also, this was a good time, so I'm happy to come back. And if you find yourself over in Eastie, let me know. We'll grab a Santerre.
Yeah, we're right down the street. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know if I'll end up in Ashford and Ham anytime soon, but
I don't even know how I find myself here.
Maybe if I get lost, I'll give you a call.
Peaceful. It's quiet. I told you, come out to Mount Watatic. It's we climbed it. I think we only went up a mile, but my almost 5-year-old daughter, she walked it no problem, and it was icy too. So, but I know you're adventurous. I know you like to do all these crazy things, but hey,
I'll get out there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, brother, it's been real, and it was definitely great catching up with you. And
yeah, likewise. We'll stay.
We gotta do it again.
Gotta go I look forward to it.
Hit up some Dever Park and get some old Chevers for his IC games going. Basketball.
I like that. I like that. Me and Romario Benich will come.
God,
down,
no!
Track down Craig Hooper.
No. Craig
Gives
Hooper's
him nightmares
he's
because we
doing
wiped the
eating
floor
competitions.
Is he? I haven't seen Craig in a long time.
Yeah,
me and Brendan versus you two, and we'll get it going.
Oh, it's on. I know Brendan. I know Brendan's watching. I know you're watching.
Yeah, he's watching.
Yeah, he loves it. He's ready to go for sure.
And just as long as he got his haircut, that's all that matters.
Why did he have? Was he growing it out?
Oh, he had he said right there, he's in. He goes, I'm in.
Let's go.
You know that.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, if you go back 2 episodes ago, you'll see him come on. He's got this huge afro, orange afro.
Love that.
Told you, Brian Scalabrine for sure.
Man. Well, cool. Good to fellas. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, brother.
No, we appreciate you.
I'll talk
Take
to
it
you
easy,
soon.
JP.
All right.
That was awesome.
Wow. Great. Man.
Not
Great
it just comes down to, like I said, you see it all the time with this technology in sports, and that's basically what it's going to come down to. And it's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to see where it's come from and where it's going.
Can you imagine where it's going to be 10 years from now? It's going to be insane.
You're gonna have robotic legs on LeBron James and Kevin Durant with his robotic Achilles.
Oh man, yeah.
By the way, me and Kevin are not related. This is my real last name.
Imagine.
Kevin, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
Oh man, shout out JP, man. That was a great time talking with him, man. Again, shout out to you for coming on, man. We appreciate you.
There's definitely a different aspect and different angle because I would love to have more people from the coaching staff come on and talk through their stories about how they game plan and how they look at other even looking at JP film and breaking down film, sports, everything, just plays and everything. But I don't know. We want to take a quick break and then we'll hop into some good games. NBA. We got Celtics going off in about 45 minutes. I want to go ahead and I want to go ahead.
Sorry, I got a little carried away.
I have a few takes I need to retract, but we're gonna take a break. We'll pop back into some NBA action.
Let's go.
Oh man, unbelievable! Man, this Celtics team is just. I think it all had to come back to was it Cedric Maxwell? No, Kendrick Perkins. Lighting a fire up under Jason Tatum.
Yeah, well, you heard what Jason Tatum said. I think he said 82% back from his, the COVID symptoms. He's using an inhaler now, so he's gearing up, and it's perfect timing, playoff time.
Yeah, and did you see he's taking an inhaler?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he said he's taking it before a game.
That's insane.
For oxygen. Yeah, man. It's it's real, man. And that's tough. He must have got it bad. He must have really got hit.
Especially still feeling the effects now.
Yeah, it's 2 months in, so it's that's real tough. But he's playing. He's playing good. He's playing well. They're on a 5-game winning streak. So they're doing good, man.
You can thank Perk for that.
Yeah, I'm still a little. I got to see more. I got to see more with this team. Got to see more. I want to see when Evan Fournier comes back and see how it really looks.
Man, he's been on the team for how long and how many games has he played?
What's going on with him? Does he have COVID? Does he not? I just don't get it.
Let's see here. I don't want to screw anything up. Ooh, Ooh, we get that one.
We gotta get that 2-on-2 matchup though.
Oh, for sure. No, him. I'm telling you, JP, him and his brother Ben. He's a year older than me, and JP's a year younger than me. And I was in 7th grade on the basketball team, going up against his older brother, and they're just a sports family. It's crazy, and he's played sports throughout his whole entire life. I played with him, not only lacrosse, but I didn't play. I think I played like 2 years of hockey, but I don't think I played with him. But baseball, it's sports. I think the multiplayer sports, the multi athlete, not multiplayer. We're not playing 2K.
Playing 2K real quick.
No, but you don't really see that. Like I played baseball and lacrosse in their same season sport. I got lucky and I had, base practice on opposite days. I had lacrosse practice, but going to high school, I had to choose one or the other.
I mean, I would love. That's why I want my daughter to do 2 sports at least. Just to get her body more and stronger. In her mind. That would be beneficial for her.
I mean, she's, from what I see on Instagram, she's a little soccer player. Can't take that out of her blood.
Yeah. Maybe we can have both our daughters play on the same team one day.
I'm telling you, I'm redoing my front lawn, so I'll get some nets. I'll get some nets out there.
Let's get it.
Oh yeah, I got something to share with you once we're done.
Okay.
But all right, let's hop back into this. We'll hop into the game that's going off very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right, you want to lead us in?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, on you.
All right, let's hop back into some NBA. Let's talk about the Celtics, man. How do you feel about the Celtics? And they're they're on a nice little winning streak. They're kind of shutting us up a little bit, but like I was just telling you, I still need to see a little bit more. Waiting for Evan Fournier to come back, see what it really look like. But I just love the energy. I think I tweeted this a couple of days ago. When they played against the Blazers, I said I wouldn't mind if they lose that game because they're playing with effort. And they're playing with more heart and more intensity. You see Marcus Smart diving on the floor, getting back, getting a steal. But how do you feel about how they're playing, man? Because for me, man, I just love their focus. They're talking more on defense. They're moving the ball. Brad Stevens seems like himself. He seems like he just needed that those dark times in the beginning of the season, and now they're heating right up in the playoffs.
Well, you know how I feel about the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. I guess I kind of have to do it at this point. I'm going to retract my past statements about this Celtics team.
Uh-oh.
For now, time being. Okay, time being. They're playing against, I would say, the Lakers G League team tonight. Okay. They're just driving around Staples Center. Hey, you want to play tonight? Passing out jerseys, random numbers to random guys. I'm telling you.
You get to sit next to LeBron. You get to sit next to.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's insane. The Celtics, they're actually favored to win this game, which I'm actually not surprised because, like I said, all these players are out. The Celtics, they're just blowing my mind at this point. I said they weren't going to win last week. I said they weren't going to win this week. I said they weren't going to win the week before that. I said they're not going to win. I said that the second half of the season. I don't know. I think the whole entire thing with Kendrick Perkins lighting a fire up under Jason Tatum definitely had something to do with the way that they're playing now. And you can see it in Tatum's game. Perk tweeted at him, and they didn't settle their beef on social media. Tatum called Perk. They had the conversation, and what, the next night he put up 50 45, 50?
53.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I think it's something like that needed to happen to this team, because little Bradley's not going to be able to do it. He can't fire this team up. That's why we need to pull somebody like Perk. And, I even heard on the radio, I think it was Felger and Maz saying it yesterday, even getting Rondo to come in, but I mean, that's a little too late. I don't think anybody would take Rondo seriously, but, just they definitely need somebody, and I don't think we can rely on Paul Pierce at this point in time.
Hey, shout out Paul Pierce, man. Hey, Boston Celtics, give him a job, please, because Paul Pierce was being himself. He was himself, but unfortunately, I get it. You have a contract, you have to. There's certain requirements you have to abide by, but he didn't do anything out of the ordinary that a typical rich single man would do. So you
can't do that while you're employed by a Disney company. All right.
There's kids watching. But again, shout out to the truth, man. Celtics, please do something. Give him part ownership, or get him a job, or get him a job on the coaching staff. Brad Stevens, he needs some type of, because I like Brad Stevens. He just needs other guys with him that know the game more. You know what I mean? That's not discrediting all the assistant coaches on the Celtics team, but it's showing. I mean, this is what like you said, Dan, it's like what the Celtics need. They unfortunately they're not listening to Brad Stevens, so they need the media to attack them, them. And if you think about it, Dan, the media are attacking this team because I feel like all these media outlets, they feel like the Celtics are championship level. They have championship level talent, and they just need they need to wake up a little bit. And I get it. This COVID times, it's a weird season. It's a rush season, in my opinion. But I just feel like, man, you got to wake up at a certain point. And I take that out as a positive that the media is attacking them, because they want the Celtics to wake up. You know what I mean? They just want them to wake up.
It's great because I had such high expectations for this team coming into this season. Especially the crappy season that we got left with over the summer, and just seeing what they did. I think they started out pretty strong, didn't they? From what I remember,
8-3. They were first place in the East.
Yeah, and then they started losing it, and that's when I started saying, all right, they're not playing to their potential. What are they doing? Are they tanking? Are they trying to get a number one pick? What are they trying to do here? But it just comes down to Kendrick Perkins. Let's go. I think when he records, he's like sitting in his chair, and the camera's is the camera looking down at him or up, and he's just like sitting in this king throne, like
seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy, but it's unfortunate that these outside, like you said, media outlets have to be the ones to start the fire within the organization, within the players. I think I said it last week. Who's the actual veteran on the team? Marcus Smart. You can't really rely on him. Yeah, he had a great game, the other night, but where is that every single night?
He's still young. He's still young too himself. He's still growing into himself. And but again, if anybody watched that Blazers game a few nights ago, Marcus Smart, man. He controlled that whole game. He had the toughest assignment guarding Damian Lillard, and man, when it came down to it, he locked in and he won that matchup. So again, shout out to you, Marcus Smart. You guys are playing against, like you said, Dan, the D League team tonight. I'm gonna use my favorite saying though. This is a trap game. This is a trap game because of what you're saying. There's a lot of guys out with the LA team. Boston's in LA. They've been in cold weather for the past few months. I know they can't really do much outside, but man, when that warm weather hits you, so I got the Celtics winning, but but I think it's going to be a tough out because Robert Williams is not playing tonight with knee soreness. So who's gonna? I don't know if Drummond's playing, but who's gonna?
Drummond will not play tonight. Markieff Morris will not play tonight. Kyle Kuzma will play. Marc Gasol probable. Wesley Matthews probable. But then, you pop down to our man we talked about quite a few weeks ago, Jared Dudley.
And again, shout out to Jared Dudley. He's a champion. But I saw something today on Instagram and some highlights of him last year. And then the caption, it said, "Man, the finals screwed Jared Dudley. He should have won the finals MVP."
That Dudley, finals man, MVP always goes to LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Unbelievable. I see. I don't even see this game close. With who do the Lakers have? Kyle Kuzma. That's their go-to right now.
Caruso. They got Caruso.
Come on.
Hey, he plays hard too.
Professor. Yeah, you were over my house last weekend and we were watching that game, and I said the Lakers are going to win. You looked at the Nets, and God forbid, it was just Kyrie Irving playing. Like I said, I looked at you, and what did I say? Trap game.
But again, and that just goes to show, hey, the Lakers can beat the Nets. I think Kevin Durant played that game too. Yeah.
He was out.
Oh,
Kevin Durant and Harden were both out. It was just Kyrie. I think that was the game Kyrie got ejected in the third.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, so, that's right. You're right. Yeah. So I mean, the Lakers do play hard. They're 6-4 since LeBron went out. So this is the LA versus the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry. That's always everyone's always gonna be up for that game. So it's gonna like I think the Celtics gonna they're gonna play their way through it the first half and then turn it up, the second half. But I think it's gonna be a good game tonight. It's gonna be a good game.
Oh, definitely. Celtics are actually gonna win.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, what do we got next year?
Yeah, let's go into the Clippers versus Sixers. Philly is real. If you haven't believed them now, the Sixers are real. Joel Embiid is real. Ben Simmons is real. That whole squad is real. Tobias Harris, Dwight Howard, Danny Green, and Seth Curry, Doc Rivers as the coach. Man, this Philly team is just – I think they're ready. I think this is the time when they're ready. I think they are. Even though they beat the Nets without Kevin Durant and James Harden. And a shout out to LaMarcus Aldridge. He just retired today. Great career. That's a bummer. Yeah, heart condition. But I agree with him choosing his life over the game. So, but again, Philly, it still was a close game last night when they played against the Nets, but that was like boring time. Sixers didn't take the Nets serious, but Philly's real, but they're coming into a game against the Clippers where they're rolling too. I just saw a stat line since the Rondo edition. They're 7-0, and that's the Rondo effect. And it's like what you said, Dan. That's the type of
Rondo effect.
Yeah. and man, the Clippers got him at the right time because they were already a high efficient team on offense. They moved the ball well, but now you got a point guard that is a pass first point guard that loves to get everybody involved. Oh man! And then when crunch time hits, that's where Rondo brings it out. He's a 2-time champion for a reason. So I got the Clippers winning in this game. I don't know if Kawhi's going to come back. I don't think
Kawhi's out.
Yeah, Kawhi's out, but PG's having a great year.
He definitely is.
He's shutting up the haters a little bit, but we got to see in the playoffs, PG. We got to see you in the playoffs, and I really want you to get to the finals. Clippers are my sleeper in the West. So, why not test yourself against the number one team in the East, against Philly? So I got the Clippers winning this matchup because they do have toughness. They got Markieff Morris. The Clippers do. They got Ibaka. It's just going to be a great battle. Joel Embiid is the factor who can stop him right now. He's playing like an MVP. Ben Simmons is still defense. In my opinion, should win the defensive player of the year. So, I got the Clippers winning this in a close game for sure. My
only concern about the Clippers right now is Kawhi being out. Paul George is just going to have to run that whole entire he's going to be targeted that whole entire game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just because, I'm going to pick the Sixers, but, just looking at these other teams, looking at the G League Lakers, they come back and they beat the Nets. They're beating these good teams, the G Leaguers, and I don't know. It's honestly a coin flip, but at the same time, I'm going with the 76ers. And I think we do need to revisit one of our past episodes where we broke down. I think that was before the All-Star break, who we had going to the playoffs. So we will revisit that, and we'll see how wrong or right we are, and see if we want to modify anything. But yeah, I got the Sixers here. I can't. I just can't back a Clippers team, without their leading scorer.
Yeah, that's true. And it's going to be a tough task, like you said, for Paul George. That's going to be the Sixers' game plan. Maybe trap him every pick and roll. He's going to see a lot of double teams that game. But they got Reggie Jackson, they got Rondo, they got Nicholas Batum, they got Terrence Mann, who's a guy everybody should be looking out for. And they got Tyronn Lue. He's a good coach too. And Tyronn Lue against Doc Rivers, battle of the mind. So it's gonna be a good game, man. Defensive game as well. But it's gonna be a good game. So yeah, you got the Sixers. I got the Clippers.
Patrick Beverly needs to step it up.
Yeah. He really needs to. No, you're right, man. You're right. I don't know. Every time I see him, he's in his street clothes. You know what I mean? I'm like, I get it. Injuries occur, but like, come on, man. They're paying you a lot of money to hoop. So, and you're an important player for this team in the playoffs. So, Patrick Beverly, I respect you. I hope you really ball out in the playoffs, man. Let's get to it, man. Because Clippers, y'all need to get Clipper Nation waking up a little bit, because take advantage now, because LeBron and AD are still sitting. they're still in the machines right now. They're waiting. You know what I mean? I think LeBron's been healed. But
they're saving him for the playoffs.
How many millions of dollars did he spend on his body? Come on,
way too many. More than I'll make in my lifetime.
And again, he's human. I'm pretty sure he had to regroup and stuff. But come on, he's just resting. And AD, they're saving him. So again, Clipper Nation, please, let's go. Let's get it going. Let's get into our Saturday game, man. We got the Golden State Warriors versus our Celtics, man. This is going to be another great game, because Steph Curry, oh my God. Hey, let's just give a moment. Steph Curry just became the leading scorer in Warriors history. I'm going to give you a nice round of applause for the Hall of Famer, Steph Curry.
We all knew that was coming. He's just just when you count him out, it's just everything flips. Everything flips. What was it? The beginning of the season, he was injured, and then boom, he's playing like nothing ever happened. He's playing.
He had a 60-point game this season too. Out of control, man. Out of control. I love Steph Curry. They're going to be a scary team next year when Clay gets back. Oh my gosh, they're going to be. Oh, it's going to be scary for the West, but
man, I love that commercial for Subway with Draymond Green and Jason Tatum. Hey man, I like my Subway foot long with steak and cheese. I put bacon on mine. At least mine has a ring. That's messed up.
Battle of the sandwiches on Saturday. But just to pick up with the Celtics, what we're talking about. I mean, if they can get the job done tonight, that's just going to get their confidence even higher and higher. And I guess this Warriors team, they've been a little on and off this season. Steph Curry has to take over a lot for this team to at least have a chance to win a game. So, but Steph Curry, man, they're going to have, because Steph Curry can control a whole game if he wants to. You cannot let him get hot early. You cannot let him have 20 points in the first quarter, which he's capable of. I don't know who's going to take that assignment. If it's Marcus Smart, man, please switch everything, double team, do all you can with this guy. Send the whole five guys after him, because, man, you can't let him just get that. Once he gets one going, it's a wrap, man. So, but I got the Celtics winning this, because the Warriors, they don't have anybody else on this team. Draymond and Steph, they're the only two left from championship teams. So, they're just really, going with the flow. They're fighting for the play-in tournament. I believe they're 10th in the West. right now. So they're going to play hard because they really want to get a chance to get into the playoffs. So Boston, don't take your eyes off of number 30. Man, because that guy's a sniper. Oh my gosh, he's a sniper.
It's like a fine wine too, you know.
Seriously, man. And I'm just hoping, man, that this game doesn't get out of hand quick, because he will make you and don't play his game. If you guys realize, Steph Curry, he'll make you play his game. Just shoot three to match his energy. And at the end of the day, he's winning. So, Steph Curry, man, please take it easy on my Celtics. But at the same time, I do want to see you play. I'm thinking about going to that game. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Well, I would love to see Steph Curry. What do you think? Dan, you think we should?
Oh, I'm down.
Are you down for that? All right, we'll talk off air.
Family trip.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, we'll talk off air. But man, this is I got the Celtics winning this game.
I'm sorry. The Celtics run is going to come to an end. They're going to beat the Lakers. They're going to beat the Lakers tonight. They're going to beat the G Leaguers. Okay. And then they're going to run to the brick wall, which is the Golden State Warriors.
Ooh, wow.
I'm sorry. Don't beat me up over this.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. I just get the feeling.
I know.
No, I get the feeling like but I feel the same way. You're still not a believer in the Celtics team yet. I feel the same way. I get it.
They should have easily waxed that Trailblazers team. Easily. But to only win by one? Yeah.
I mean, they got Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum.
I know.
They're very, and they're great. They're the best first half team in the league. So you got to outscore them. It's the West too. You playing against all these Western Conference teams.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I don't like these 10:00 games.
Yeah, exactly. And the travel, and that's why I'm saying this against the Lakers tonight. This might be a trap game as well, because man, again, these players don't get rest on time to sleep. So. But I do understand your feeling towards this team, man, because they have been a disappointment this season. The fact that I had to take the whole world literally to get on their neck, about it. So it's just, but if they lose against this Warriors team, this would be a bad loss, because the Warriors, they shouldn't even be in the same conversation as the Celtics right now. So, but again, Steph Curry. So, so I get it.
I mean, if they do end up beating the Warriors, I will never say the Celtics are going to lose another game. Every time we talk about them, I will never say nope. It's always going to be yep. They're going to win. They're going to win. Yep. Celtics. Hey, Celtics. Go. Peyton Pritchard. Let's go.
Hey, he needs to step it up too. And I don't know what's going on with him.
Don't talk about my Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, don't talk.
No.
I love Peyton Pritchard.
I'm the biggest Peyton Pritchard defender.
I love Peyton Pritchard.
I think I messaged him. I message him on Instagram at least once a day. If you were to look at my DMs, you'd see like every single day since we acquired him last year.
Hey, you're a true fan, and hopefully he, you never know. We could have him on one day. You never know, but that's a. I'm still putting that bug in Cyrus's ear. Hey, shout out to you, Cyrus. You're doing your thing right now, bro. Keep it up.
He told me them Coisy ads are coming out soon.
Oh yeah, okay. Here we go. Let's go. Yeah. So this Saturday's game is going to be exciting. Let's see what the Celtics can do, because this is a big test, because they're going against Steph Curry. He's a Hall of Famer already, so. Let's get to it, Boston. Be ready for that game.
It's going to be ready. Like I just said, if the Celtics beat the Warriors, I will say, every time we talk about them, I will say the Celtics are going to win.
All right, you guys hear that?
I'll be drinking that green Kool-Aid that Brad Stevens is putting in everybody in Boston's water. All right. Oh man.
All
right, enough with the Celtics. I'm done with the Celtics. All right.
Yeah. Let's get into our Sunday game, man. And we got 2 games for Sunday. And these games here, man, the reason why I picked these last 4 is because of what we've been saying a little bit about the playoffs coming up. A lot of these teams are playing for a playoff seeding, or they're playing for the play-in tournament. And our next game is the Pelicans versus Knicks. New York just don't go away. They're trailing us. They're right behind us in the record wise, and they just don't go away. They're number one defensive team in the league. Tom Thibodeau has these boys every night. They have a chance to win due to their defense. Their offense is horrible, but defensively, they play. Mm-hmm. Julius Randle is, man, he should even be in the MVP talks because of what team he's playing for, which is the Knicks. And if the Knicks can get in the playoffs this year, oh man, this is when the Knicks are good. They're good for the league. When they're good, when they're playing well and in the playoffs, the NBA is better. And the Knicks, they're battling. They're battling. I believe they're 7th seed right now. Derrick Rose is playing like himself. RJ Barrett's playing like himself. They have a good group, good solid group. And Tom Thibodeau should win Coach of the Year, but he probably won't. But it's this against this Pelicans team. They're fighting. The Pelicans are fighting for a play-in tournament. They're too inconsistent for me. Due for their talent, and I hate that they let go of Isaiah Thomas. They should. That's a guy that they should have kept.
They say they didn't want to sign him again for another 10-day deal.
Yeah, the Celtics are looking at him. They're looking for a reunion, so that would be pretty interesting. But the Pelicans, man, you guys should be doing better with that talent. Zion, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball. They just can't. They can't figure it out. And this is going to be the second year where they're playing in a playing tournament. So, I got the Knicks winning due to their defense. Zion versus Randall. That's going to be that's big boy basketball. And
you got the homegrown Everett kid, Nerlens Noel.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. This is a little off topic, but have you seen that movie Soul?
Oh man, my daughter loves that movie. Shout out to Jamie Foxx, man. That's a classic.
Did you see that part where the little ghost girl, she's like she's going through like the scenes and she goes, "Oh, I've been messing with this team for years." It's the Knicks.
Because I've watched it like 10 times, right? And that's just because my daughter loves it. But at the same time, I love it too.
I love it.
That scene, when I first saw it, I was like, I had to rewind it. I'm like, whoa, was that the New York Knicks she was talking about? Yep. and again, that just shows where the Knicks have been in the past, not few years, a past decade.
Yeah.
They just
not the Knicks of the 90s. They're not the Knicks of the 90s. They're in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they're not. And they just can never get in it due to the amount of coaches that they've had and the players. They've just been inconsistent. So this year, this team, Tom Thibodeau, this is the type of team Tom Thibodeau needs. And they're playing for him. They're playing for each other. I hope they get in. They will get in the playoffs. They will. That Mitchell Robinson was a big loss for them. He's out for the season due to an injury. Just to upgrade their defense, but Knicks are playing well, man. And I got the Knicks winning this game. Not easily because the Knicks can't score like that, but this is going to be a high scoring game. But defense wins at the end, so the Knicks are going to take this game.
Oh yeah, I got them. It's this New Orleans team. Yeah, they're on a what are they? They're on a little run right now. Well, they're like up in the air, but I mean, I see them winning. I see them winning. There's no. Wait, did I just say the New Orleans Pelicans are going to win? No, the Knicks are going to win.
No, yeah. Knicks are going to win. Yeah,
I'm losing my mind right now. Yeah, Knicks are going to win. Knicks are going to win. The Pelicans are just. I mean, they're not too consistent right now, and plus they just lost to the Knicks a few nights ago.
Yeah.
I just. I can't back the Pelicans. So I'm riding the Knicks for
our guy Steven Adams, man. I feel bad for him because he's been in the playoffs a lot in his career, and I think he came into the Pelicans because he saw something in Zion. Because Zion's obviously the big guy, but Brandon Ingram too, which is who's turning into a great player. I just feel, maybe it's Stan Van Gundy. I think he needs a team that Tom Thibodeau has, like a younger group. I mean, the Pelicans are young, but you got a mixture of veterans with this Pelican group that deserve to be in the playoffs right now. But Steven Adams, I saw an interview of his. He just loves to play. He loves to play the game. He's a chill dude. Yeah, he's a chill dude, and I just think and again, maybe next year he signed for a few more years with the Pelicans. I think one more, so he probably sees something. But again, man, the Pelicans, man, y'all should be higher up in the standings, but again, like your point, Dan, they're just too inconsistent right now with their play, and it kind of sucks because Zion is, man, you could tell his confidence has grown this year. Every time I see a highlight, he's flexing on somebody, with his muscles because he's dunking on somebody or just getting an and one. So, I just feel like the Pelicans needs this offseason coming up is a big offseason for the Pelicans for sure.
It's funny. I used to always get Steven Adams and Joakim Noah confused.
Really? Oh, the long hair, right?
Like the long hair and that goatee that they got right.
Goatee.
Oh, man.
It's funny. So that's going to be a big game for sure.
The Knicks, no doubt.
Yeah.
Which then leads us to our final Sunday game.
We got the Pacers versus Hawks, and I got this one highlight because my Celtics. I'm a Celtics fan, so I want the Hawks to lose because we're trailing them by one game, for the 4th seed, and the Celtics do need home court advantage, and the Hawks, man, they're playing. I thought them losing Rondo would have been a downfall, but they got Lou Williams. They got a extra scorer with Trae Young. Collins is playing well. Capella is blocking shots here and there. So they're playing great basketball. They're confident. They're playing against the Pacers team that are fighting for the play-in tournament. Karis LeVert coming back. They've been playing very well. Sabonis is always playing good. Miles Turner. Malcolm Brogdon is playing well. I want to say the Hawks are going to lose because of what my point is. I want them to lose because the Celtics are right there behind them. But I got the Hawks winning this game because Trae Young he's a dominant player, and he just, like I said, he's not like Steph Curry, but he can control the game like Steph Curry when she gets hot, and he's pulling from like the logo every second. So and again, from where it shows now, the Celtics and Hawks would play each other in the playoffs right now. That would be a great series to watch. But I got the Hawks winning this because the Pacers, unfortunately, again, they're playing in the play-in tournament, right? Well, they will be, but the Hawks are playing well as well. So.
They are, and they've definitely turned it around. They lost a ton of games. What was it, back in February?
Yeah, they did.
And then they just flipped the script, and it's crazy to see where they are right now. I think the Hawks are going to win without a doubt. And what's going on with this Pacers team?
Yeah, I don't know. They've always been like this the past few years. Even when Victor Oladipo was playing, they just have a problem scoring a lot. I mean, Karis LeVert is helping them on that end, but now it seems like they were a defensive team a few years ago, but now they switch into the offensive side, and they can't just get both done at the same page, and they're not on the same page with their defensive offense. So they're just offensive oriented right now.
I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the Pacers, they have a pretty easy, schedule from here on out.
Yeah, they do.
In the next 2 games, they got the Jazz, Atlanta, and then they got the Spurs, OKC, Detroit, Orlando. And then it toughens back up for 2 more games. They got the Trailblazers in Brooklyn, but then it goes right back to being easy. OKC, Washington, Sacramento.
And most of these teams that are already locked into the playoffs once they get to that time, they're going to rest their players. So the Pacers, so the Pacers can possibly move up. And again, they've always been a scary playoff team. No matter what, they will fight. They'll fight and fight. So again, man, if they get in the playoffs, it'll be tough for them. But if they can get this win against the Hawks, which I'm hoping they do, but the Hawks, I still got the Hawks winning. But this will be a big win for them for sure.
Definitely will. Definitely will.
Yeah.
Hawks are going to win.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got one thing to touch on outside of basketball.
Let's get it.
The news of Julian Edelman retiring.
Oof.
I know some people say he's a Hall of Famer. Some people are saying he's not. I want your honest opinion. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer? In NFL, no doubt about he's going to be a Patriots Hall of Famer, but actual NFL Hall of Famer.
I have to say no. He's in the Hall of Fame with the Patriots, but you can't. He's never made a Pro Bowl. He's never made a Pro Bowl. I think but one stat that did attract me was he's right there with Jerry Rice in the playoffs with I believe receptions. So that and Jerry Rice is supposed to be the GOAT of wide receivers. So I mean that's a great stat to be with Jerry Rice, but he was and it's crazy. Julian Edelman was getting a lot of flack this past week of not flack, but just everybody was just saying, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he not? And his heart, his passion for the game, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But his stats doesn't really match with the Hall of Famers that are in. And it's I again, being in the Patriot Hall of Fame is not bad either.
Yeah.
You don't get a jacket. Do you get a jacket? No, you don't. No.
You get I think you get I think you get the red. Was it red jacket?
Oh yeah, come on. It's basically the same thing, different color.
No, but I mean, the way that I look at it, you had the Steelers, back when they were winning all those Super Bowls, and you had some guys that were very questionable get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's true.
They weren't putting up numbers like but the way I see it from here, Wes Welker, he had a better career than Julian Edelman. He had better stats. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not even the question. And that starts the whole conversation about the Hall of Fame. And are they just going to start letting some of these Patriots players in just because they were part of this history-setting, record-breaking, all that type of, season in 20 years of excellence?
But I would say, right, Julian Edelman has saved Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Especially
that's not a shot at Tom Brady at all. But that Super Bowl against Atlanta, that catch, if Julian Edelman missed that catch, we would not be saying Brady has 7 rings right now.
There wouldn't have been a 28-3. There would have been no comeback.
And Julian Edelman, like I just said, his heart, his passion deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. His stats, unfortunately, doesn't show it. And again, Julian Edelman, man, when I saw the news, I was like, damn, really? Physical. But then I was like, I get it, man. Football is a tough sport.
Bone on bone in the knee.
Yeah, and but will he take the Gronk approach? Take a year off or two?
That's what everybody's saying.
or take 5 months off, take a few months off. And then guess what? Breaking news, he's with Tampa. You know what I'm saying?
You'll see it. You'll see it.
But I don't get why he would leave. Maybe this is when me and you, I don't know I kind of like what the Patriots did this offseason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't get why he would want to. But again, Tom Brady's his best friend. But I just feel like the Patriots have a great a possible chance to get far into the playoffs. So I we need a quarterback still, but it's just, I don't know. But again, he needs to, take care of him first. Take care of him first. He has a family. Julian Edelman, you gave us great memories, especially in the playoffs. You're tough, man. Those hits that you took in,
I'd be on the grass anyway.
And you've gotten right up. You've gotten right up. And you got back on the line and win again. Like, man, you even threw a game winner in the playoffs.
Multiple passes. Like I said, he's got a better passer completion than the 3 bums that we had starting this year.
So should we base that off of him possibly get to Hall of Fame? Because like we just said, he saved Tom Brady, man. He saved Tom. Maybe a few times.
Aren't there, though.
It's not there. It's not there. You're right. It's not there. It's just.
But like I said, they might come down to, all right, the dynasty of the Patriots, the franchise of the Patriots. They might just start letting some of these guys in. But then you got to go back. You got to let in Richard Seymour. You got to let in Teddy Bruschi. You got to let in Willie McGinnis. Even going back to, my man Terry Glenn. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
I don't know. It's going to be. Well, I mean, it's always us versus everybody. So
yeah, it is. And then Julian Edelman, if this is really official and you really just call it quits, you have nothing to hold your head down to because you had a great career. You're 3-time champion. Come on, most people don't even have a championship.
That's more than Wes Welker.
Yeah. And Wes Welker, you missed that catch that still pisses me off in that 2012 Super Bowl where it was right in your hands. And I just, but again, shout out to you, Wes Welker. But, Julian Edelman, again, we thank you. We thank you for we thank you.
Without a doubt.
Thank you. Before we head off, man, I wanna throw up the X, man. Rest in peace
DMX.
Rest in peace to DMX, man. Sad news we got over the past week, and I just want to really give his family.
I think as soon as we were done, you said to me once we were done, we were just talking. I was like, wow, no way.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've been bumping his music since seriously to work out in to just driving in the car. But I've always even listened to DMX even when he was alive. So DMX, you were a big part of the music culture. I'm glad that you're not hurting, but his family is we wish you some giving you positive energy during these dark times, man. Rest in peace to DMX, man, for sure.
I must say, I don't know if you remember, but that Def Jam Vendetta wrestling video game they came out with, I used to be tossed up between DMX and Method Man or Red
Man. Yeah. Hey, kids will never know. These kids nowadays will never know, man.
NFL Street, NBA Street, and one mixtape.
Man, and again, man, like it just goes to show you, man, that life, man, we gotta just, even if you're doing something so small during the day, just appreciate it, man. Just because it could be gone quickly. Even though DMX has some stuff he battled with, but we're all human at the end of the day. We all battle with a lot of stuff, and just cherish each other, cherish everybody while we're here. We only got a limited time in this world, so take advantage of each day.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Episode 16.
That does it for us. Get ready for 17. Get ready for 18. Get ready for 19. That big 2-0. Oh man.
We might have to do something special for 2-0 for the 2-0.
Hey, we got some stickers we want to give away. You send us. There we go. You send us a tweet. You send us a message on Instagram, Facebook. You send us an email, erasethechalkpod@gmail.com. Give us some information. We'll get you some stickers. No charge. All right.
No charge.
And for now, no, I'm just like. No, you send us that information, and we'll shoot you some stuff. And we got some more stuff on the way. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. And like I said, get ready for 17, 18, 19, 20, and beyond.
Let's go.
Oh, we got to play Where the Hood At.
Yeah, yes we do. Where the hood at?
We're gonna leave you with that. I'm gonna let Charles sing us off. Go ahead, Charles.
No, I'm joking.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir.